Okay. Let's talk about chromosome number, nuclear condition, results of mitosis and meiosis, just as, just practice. So, for instance, we have a cell here. This cell, I've already numbered the chromosomes with Roman numerals. So there's 2 1s, there's 2 2s, there's 2 3s. So this should indicate to you right away that this is a 2N or a diploid cell. Okay? Diploid cells have 2 sets of chromosomes. Diploidy means that 2 nuclei have fused at some point. There's been some sort of nuclear fusion in the past, giving you the double nuclear number, which is 2N or diploid. So 2 nuclei at some point have come together. So the question is always going to be, what is the nuclear condition and what is a 1N chromosome number? When I ask you what the 1N chromosome number is, that means what is one entire set of chromosomes, right? So in humans, you may have 46 chromosomes in every one of your cells, but for humans, your 1N number is 23. And what that really means is there are 23 chromosomes in one set. So a set is going to be a thing. When we talk about, how many sets is that, or how many chromosomes in a set, those are 2 completely different questions. All right? So let's use these questions for this cell. How many sets are there in that cell? There are 2 sets. 2 sets automatically and definably means that it's 2N. The question is, how many chromosomes per set? Well, it's easy to figure out. You just figure out how many individual chromosomes are completely different than all the other ones. And I've already made this one easy because I've numbered them. And so there's a 1, that's a homologous pair. That's 2, that's its homolog. And there's 3, so that's its homolog. So in other words, in this particular thing, the 1N number is 3. 3 chromosomes. Each one of those chromosomes is completely different. That one is different from that one. That one is completely different. There aren't any genes that are the same in these. On the other hand, these 2 have very, very similar information. Homologous chromosomes are carrying the same genes all up and down, same genes, but they may have different versions of those genes. Okay? So homologous, homologous, right? Those are the homologous pairs. This is a 2N set, so this is the nuclear condition. It's diploid. One set is 3 chromosomes. So the 2N diploid number is 6 chromosomes, right? What if this were a triploid cell? If it were a triploid cell, there would be 3 sets, which would mean 3 times 3, or 9 chromosomes, right? So it's about sets, and it's about number of chromosomes per set. You need to know both. The rest of it's basically easy because you can figure out diploid, triploid, hexaploid, and so on and so forth. All right? Second question. If I want this cell to undergo mitosis or meiosis, you need to be able to figure out what is the final cell going to look like. Let's start with mitosis. If this thing undergoes mitosis, it's going to end up not only dividing out those chromatids from each other, but you're going to end up putting those chromatids in different cells. You're not going to separate homologous chromosomes at all because you want both of these cells to be identical. So inside the nuclei of these 2 new cells, there's going to be half of that one, and there's going to be half of that other one. I guess I should make these blue. So that blue and that blue, there's one of each one of those that ends up there. And then there's going to be two purple ones. There's going to be that half of that purple and half of that purple. There's going to be half of this weird orange one. There's going to be half of that other weird orange one. This is still, by the way, a diploid cell. Okay? There's everything in there. Nothing has changed information-wise, data-wise. Nothing has changed between this cell and this cell. These cells are identical to each other. Because all that has to happen is that these things have to do DNA replication, make copies of their little unduplicated selves, and pretty soon you have a cell that's pretty much exactly the way that one is. So it's still diploid. That's what happens after mitosis. This one's going to do the exact same thing. And they're still diploid cells. On the other hand, if this chromosome goes along and does meiosis, that's a completely different story. Okay? So what's going to happen in this case, this thing's going to divide. It's going to divide again. And you're going to end up with four cells, right? Let's just concentrate on one resulting nucleus. First of all, homologous pairs are going to separate. 2 from 2, 1 from 1, 3 from 3, right? Second of all, in meiosis 2, you're going to separate the chromatids from each other. And this is what a lot of you missed on the quiz, because you wanted to put the little X-shaped thing, but really after meiosis, there's no X's because the chromatids have separated from each other. So since the chromatids too have separated, along with the homologous pairs, what you're going to end up with is one of those ones, that blue one right there, and it's going to have separated over here. Well, let me put the other nuclei in here just to clear this up a little bit. So here's another nucleus. It will have separated from its chromatid over there. So both of these guys are in opposite cells. Okay? One of these purple ones will have separated from its other purple one. And one of these weird orange ones will have separated from its chromatid, right? Now, the other chromosome, the other homologous one, it's going to be down in here. And its buddy's going to be over here, right? And so the little purple one, this purple one will have separated over here. And the little weird orange one is going to be right there. And so this cell, that's a haploid cell. Does everybody see why? It's haploid because there is only one number 1. There is only one number 2. And there's only one number 3. Even if this goes through replication, right? It still only has one of everything. Even if these replicate, you're still only going to have one of every one of these little guys. It's still haploid. It doesn't matter. So the idea is that meiosis is totally going to make a haploid cell out of a diploid cell. Okay, there's only one of everything. One set, one set, one set, one set. Those are haploid cells. Those are destined to be gametes. Right? All right, so that's the general idea. First of all, you have to figure out if there's pairs. Yes, there's pairs. That's a diploid cell. Second of all, you have to figure out how many different chromosomes are there. That one's different than that one, and that one's different than that one. So there's 3 in a set. A set is 3. But there's pairs of everything. So if it's a diploid, there's actually 6 chromosomes. But there's only really 3 of them that are completely different from each other. All right, so let's do another one. Similar in a lot of ways, but with a lot of less information on it. In this case, we've got a cell, and the question is, what is its nuclear condition? What is the nuclear condition of this cell? And then we're like haploid, diploid, triploid, hexaploid, pentaploid, octaploid, whatever. So I've done this very simply. I've made the pairs the same color. Let's put in a gene. Let's just say, oh, look, there's a big B allele right there at the top half of that. And let's just say that this one over here, same gene, different allele, there's a little b there, okay? And let's just say for fun that there is a big R gene here that codes for some other trait. And this one right here has the little r on it. Because it's homologous, it's the same gene, but it's a different version of that gene. We call it an allele. Since there's pairs of every single one of those, it must be a diploid cell, right? It is absolutely a diploid cell. The question is now, how many chromosomes in a set? Well, simply, just start numbering. I would just number them big to small. So I would give this one number 1, and I would also give this number 1 because they're homologous, right? I'd give this one number 2, and I would also call that number 2. I'd call this one number 3 because it's sort of the third largest. And I'd call this number 4. And those are homologous to each other. So the question is, how many chromosomes are completely different than each other? Well, there's a 1, there's a 2, there's a 3, there's a 4. So there must be 4 chromosomes in one set. That means the 1n number, or the haploid number, is 4. Because there's only 4 that are completely different. So one set is 4 chromosomes. And that's what you have to concentrate on. This is a diploid cell with a 1n number of 4. So the question now is, okay, if that's true, what's the diploid number? Well, simply, it's 4 chromosomes per set, but there's 2 sets. So there's 8 chromosomes in the diploid cell, and that's a diploid cell. This is a diploid cell. Okay, so far so good? Now, when this separates by mitosis, this thing is going to make 2 cells that are identical. And the way they're going to do that is you're going to separate all the chromatids, which are identical, and put them all in the cell. There's a big purple one, there's a big purple one. 1, 1. There is a, where's the pink dude? Oh, there he is. Nope. Dang it. I lost the pink marker. Oh, that's sad. Let's use orange. There's going to be an orange one there and an orange one there, right? And there's going to be a blue one and a blue one. These are different chromosomes. That blue one is 4 and that blue one is 4 and so on and so forth. And the same thing is going to be in this other cell. That's still a diploid cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The ones I couldn't find that were pink, right? And so we still have a diploid cell after mitosis. Okay? Now let's say that this cell is going to undergo meiosis. I'm going to pause just for a second.